Hi, I'm Joe and welcome to the channel. Tone. Tone is one of those things as a guitarist that we're always striving to achieve a better tone. And lots of times people will say, well, tone is in the hands. But they never really give you anything to work on to help you improve that. So in this video, I thought I would share 7 ways to improve your guitar tone. Hey, if you're new to this channel here, please do me a favor and consider supporting the channel for free by subscribing down below if you find any value in this video whatsoever. It means a lot to me and I do appreciate it. Let's go ahead and jump into the content. Number 1, and I think this one's going to shock you a little bit. Unplug your guitar. Unplug your electric guitar. Tone is in your fingers, right? So work on getting the best possible sound out of your instrument completely unplugged. You'll notice that when you're playing, that all you have to use is your fingers and your ears to really guide the tone and get it out of the instrument. And again, working on this will really help you improve your touch and feel of the instrument because you're trying to make it speak without the second half, which is the amplifier. So work on playing your guitar unplugged. Number 2 builds off of number 1. Now that you have a nice acoustic sound happening out of your instrument, go ahead and plug it in, but to a clean amp with no reverb. This is a completely humbling experience, I have to tell you. If you play clean with no reverb for a week, I guarantee you're going to make tone improvements in your playing. It is amazing how you just have that raw and bare sense of what's coming off of your fingers right away. It's very impactful, at least for me it was. So a nice clean sound. Even practice your lead lines. You'd be very surprised at how, that was a terrible lick. But anyway, you'd be very surprised at how humbling, again, this really is to do. You have to remember sometimes when you have a lot of effect pedals going on and things of that nature, you're actually masking your true tones, the true tones that's coming off of your fingers. And also, to be honest, you're probably covering up a lot of sloppy mistakes or sloppy playing. I know I am. So really try this. A clean amp with no reverb. Try it at least for a week. Number 3, picks. You'd be very surprised how a pick really affects your tone. Different pick thicknesses, different pick shapes, all these things affect your tone in a great way. Now this works on both acoustic guitar and electric guitar, but I just wanted to show you on acoustic guitar. Here's an example. If you use a lighter, thinner pick, especially for strumming things, it tends to have a brighter sound to it. Now let's use a thicker pick, and you'll see that it kind of warms up the sound a little bit more. So not only play and experiment with the pick, even the pointy side, actually use the back end of a pick too. And this is great for lead lines as well as rhythm playing. You'll notice that you basically have a built-in EQ pedal, if you will, with just by flipping your pick around. It really affects the way you do it. Also, try other things other than a pick. You can try anything, and ditch the pick altogether is another way to improve your tone and do things differently. Even just using your fingers. All these things are variations on the simple thing of experimenting with your pick. Now another thing to do too, experiment with how you hold the pick in firmness. You'll notice if you really grab on tight to a pick, it has a different tonal quality than if you let it loose. So this is loose. This is loose. I don't know if the camera's picking it up well, but I can definitely hear the pick scratching across the strings, which is more of a percussive sound that you're getting out of it, not just the notes. Now, if I hold the pick a little firmer, you're going to hear more of the notes and less of the pick scraping. So that was all by just lightening my grip on the pick, made a totally different tonal difference to the way that those chords sounded. So experiment with pick attack, pick sizes, pick thicknesses, where you hold the pick, and how you use the pick. And again, also ditch the pick altogether. This really also works great on electric guitar when you lose the pick, because it really adds a little bit extra human flavor to the dynamics of the things that you're picking. Number 4 is actually a two-parter. The first one is try moving your licks to thicker strings. By moving to a thicker set of strings, it will make the sound just sound a little more fuller. Here's an example. Let's take a blues lick like this. And let's move that up to the middle strings. You can hear there's a tonal difference there, right? It's a little bit more throatier when you're playing on the thicker strings. Number 2, the second half of this is, try playing your licks on one string instead. That'll add continuity in the tone itself because you're staying on the same thickness of a string. So let's try something like this. That sounds nicer than. So that's me using 3 strings for this one lick. Sorry, that was bad timing. Now let me try that all on one string. It actually has more of a vocal quality to it as well. So again, experiment moving your licks to thicker strings or staying on one string for a lick. Number 5, dynamics. I made a whole video about this, a little micro lesson, and I'll put one of those fancy cards up there so you can see the whole thing. But the important thing to know about dynamics is it really is your voice on the instrument. It really attributes to that. And why I say that is, think about our speech. The way I talk is going to be different than the way you talk. And also think about it in terms of if you were given the sentence like, I'm hungry. Now, you could say that in so many different ways. You could say it like you're starving. I'm hungry! You could say it like softly, like you're hungry. Are you hungry? I'm hungry. But that really means you're not too hungry, right? But you notice my inflection in my voice was different with both ways of delivering the same sentence. Well, playing guitar is no different. When you're playing a chord progression or if you're playing a lead line, incorporate dynamics and work on dynamics in your playing. This will improve your tone, but also help you find your voice on the instrument. Number 6, folks, these things on your guitar, the tone and volume knobs, you gotta use them. I am extremely guilty of this. I have never used these for a very long time, and I'm embarrassed to admit it, but these things make an incredible difference. I grew up kind of in the 80s where your guitars, your Ibanez's, they were all on 10, the tone and the volume on 10, and let's rock, right? Ever since I got this Les Paul guitar, it's really taught me how to really dial in a nice sounding tone by using the different volume knobs and tone knobs. Now, if you don't have a Les Paul, it doesn't matter. What I found really nice, especially if you have a guitar with 2 pickups and you have a middle position where you can start to learn to blend in the 2 pickups together, you really can find some beautiful tones in there. I find a lot of times with this guitar that I have basically the bridge pickup just coming in slightly to brighten up a little bit of the high ends and make a little more clarity to the notes by keeping also the warmth of the neck position. And I also find that I'm rolling off the tone basically to 8 on these. And again, blending is such an important thing to find new tones. It's really amazing. I encourage you, if you haven't yet done it, experiment playing with your volume and tone knobs. Let's do a little bit of an example here. Let's use the bridge pickup. This is everything full out. That's nice, but if you drop the volume back a little bit, to me, I think you get a little more clarity and punch. It just sounds really nice. Let's also listen to that blending that I talked about. Let's go to the neck pickup. So for this, I'll keep the neck pickup on around 8. It's a nice sound, but it can be a little muddy. So let's go ahead and go to the middle position, and let's blend in now the bridge pickup. To me, that just adds a lot of clarity. Just the neck. Let's add in the bridge. So again, experiment with trying to play with your volume and tone knobs. I know it might sound like an obvious thing, but I can guarantee that I was not doing this. Number 7 plays a little bit off of number 5, where you can use dynamics to your advantage. The first thing you might want to try to do is, if you don't have one already, get an overdrive pedal. Not a distortion pedal, an overdrive pedal. Why is that? Well, the overdrive pedal has a really great way to teach you when to dig in to make it more an aggressive sound and to lighten your touch up, because it emulates basically a tube amp breaking up based on how much input's going into the front end of the amp. So let's look at this from a practical example here. If you're using an overdrive pedal, you can have a very nice clean sound, clean tone, by playing gently. Now, if I dig in a little bit more with my pick and play more aggressively, the sound's going to break up more. And the same holds true if you're doing like some lead lines. That was soft, now dig in a little bit. I can do that better. So you can see that the amp, that really wasn't much better, was it? You can see though how the amp really responds, the pedal actually and the amp respond well now to your picking. So it really teaches you to use dynamics in your playing and to bring out a better and richer tone. That's it for this video. I hope you found some value in it. If you did, please do me a favor and consider supporting the channel for free by subscribing down below, hit the like button, and knock on the bell and you'll be notified when the next video comes out. As always, I wish you a great day.